Welcome to Stark Raving Social, the podcast for comms pros who want to stay ahead in a world that won't stop changing. Your host is Sherrilynne Starkie, social media strategist, industry pioneer, and trusted advisor to brands navigating the digital landscape. With decades of experience in marketing, PR, and social media, she's here to bring you the insights, strategies, and conversations you need to stay ahead of the curve. From shifting algorithms to AI-driven content, from crisis comms to culture shifts, if it's shaping the future of our industry, you'll hear about it here. This is Stark Raving Social.
Hey there, and welcome to Stark Raving Social, the bite-sized podcast for marketing and communications pros who want to stay ahead in a world that won't stop changing. I'm your host, Sherrilynne Starkie. Today's episode is a little meta. I'm talking about a podcast that I made using AI. And more importantly, I think this might be a game changer for marketers. Here's what happened. I've been playing around with a tool from Google called NotebookLM. Think of it like a research assistant with a script writing side hustle. I wanted to test its potential for content creation, specifically for podcasting. So I picked a topic that's hot right now, how to go viral on Threads. I grabbed the top 5 organic Google search results and the top 5 YouTube videos on that exact topic and dropped all those links into NotebookLM. I told it to turn that research into a podcast script that sounds like a natural conversation between two people. And it did it in minutes. So what you're about to hear is an 18-minute audio file that sounds like two smart people who've done their homework, chatting about strategies, tips, pitfalls, and going viral on Threads. It's engaging, it flows, and it's not at all robotic. And here's why this matters for marketers like us. Instead of spending hours scripting, recording, editing, and publishing, this opens up a whole new format. You could use existing high-ranking content to generate a podcast, a video script, a webinar outline, whatever your audience needs. It's fast, it's accurate enough to get started, and best of all, it's listenable. Now, is it perfect? No, it's not. You'll still want to fact check and maybe tweak the tone here and there. But as a tool for content ideation and production, this stuff's got legs. Honestly, I think it's going to get people thinking differently about what content can be and how we produce it. So if you're curious about new ways to repurpose content, teach new audiences, or just keep up with the ever-changing landscape, this tool might be worth testing. Listen now.
All right, let's dive straight in.
Yeah.
Today on the deep dive, we're tackling the hot topic of going viral on Threads. You know, Instagram's new text thing.
Yeah, the new playground. And we've got a fascinating pile of intel, seems like.
We really do. We've looked at transcripts from creators like Ken Delaney, Lennox Saint, Taylor, also articles, Social Pilot, Content Studio, Mr. Money too.
A real mix. So the mission today.
Basically to boil it all down and give you a clear idea of what makes Threads tick, you know,
Yeah.
and how to actually get noticed there.
And it's interesting, the different angles. We've got people who are there like day one sharing what they saw.
Right, those early observations.
And then creators detailing what actually worked for them, like step-by-step stuff, plus those broader lists of tactics.
Exactly. Synthesizing all that should give a pretty well-rounded picture, hopefully.
Should do.
It feels like we just got our heads around the last big platform shift, and boom, here's Threads. I remember that first day.
Oh, yeah.
It was like everyone just decided, okay, let's check this out. That initial buzz, you know,
Yeah.
it was pretty contagious.
Definitely felt that way.
So let's get into those first impressions, starting with Aver Stratz. What did she see right at the beginning?
Well, a key thing she pointed out, maybe most key thing, is that deep integration with Instagram.
Right, it's not standalone.
Not at all. Your Threads account is basically like an extension of your Insta. Verification carries over, bio, profile info.
Like starting super easy.
Totally. Removes so much friction. Probably fueled that initial rush you mentioned.
Yeah, no blank slate to worry about. She also noticed who was there early on, said something about celebrities and...
Instagram Slitta employees. Yeah.
Okay, what does that really tell us? Who are they?
Well, likely people already, deeply embedded in the Instagram world. Influencers, maybe creators who are already successful there. Or maybe people who work with the platform professionally. So their early posts, their engagement style, that might have shaped early ideas of what works on Threads.
Good point. Something to keep in mind as it grows, maybe.
Definitely. But she also mentioned something pretty forward-looking. Threads committing to support ActivityPub.
Okay, ActivityPub. Break that down for us. It sounds techie.
It kind of is, but the idea is simple. It's about audience portability. Down the line, you might be able to take your followers, your content, to other platforms that use the same system, like Mastodon, for example.
So you're not totally locked in.
Exactly. More control for users. It's sort of a nod to that whole decentralized web idea.
Interesting. Future-proofing, almost. She also mentioned Threads aiming to be safe, easy to use, run by sane people.
Yeah. That felt like a pretty direct shot, didn't it?
A little bit, compared to maybe some other platforms.
Let's just say the more unpredictable ones. And feature-wise, she noted the character limit was higher than Twitter, over 500.
Yeah, more room to talk. But no edit or delete initially.
Right. That was a big one. Probably temporary, you'd think.
You'd hope.
But that automatic verification from Instagram, huge trust signal, especially early on, helps fight impersonation.
Definitely. A shortcut to looking legit. And visuals. No GIFs, but photos and videos were okay.
Yeah, and she actually thought the quality looked better than Twitter sometimes. Plus, and this is interesting for metrics watchers, Threads didn't initially show who you follow or how many followers they have.
Oh, wow. That changes the dynamic, doesn't it?
Big time. Seems to fit that safe space goal. Focus more on the content, less on the numbers.
And the analytics were basic too, just likes and comments.
Initially, yeah. No view counts right away. And crucially, no monetization at launch, unlike Twitter.
So the incentive wasn't immediately about chasing views for money.
Exactly. More about connection, maybe, at least at first.
Okay, now this is weird. She said hashtags seemed limited. Like you'd search and get no results.
Yeah, that was a really significant observation. It suggests the early focus wasn't on finding stuff through hashtags like we're used to.
So how did you find things?
Seems like it was more about your following feed, seeing posts from people you already chose to follow and direct interactions.
Person to person.
Pretty much. And she mentioned the app's aesthetic details, which definitely points back to its Instagram roots. It felt like they were saying, connect with who you know first.
Okay, so in that early environment, what was working?
Yeah.
What growth tactics did she see?
The absolute key, she said, was active interaction.
Not just posting into the void.
Right. Unlike some places where you can just post and maybe get seen, early threads seem to reward actually engaging, talking to people, responding.
And what kind of content?
Photos did well, especially with like meme-style text or just simple text overlays. Her advice was basically get on early and start talking.
Makes sense.
She did add, though, that if hashtags eventually took off, being strategic with them early could be an advantage. But initially, be present, be social.
Background work.
Oh.
Okay, now Ken Delaney zeroed in on two specific formats that seemed to have viral potential early on. What were they?
Yeah, she called them equals threads. You know, the simple this equals that kind of post.
Like a relatable equation.
Exactly. Gives that quick aha moment. Super shareable. And the other type.
One sentence. Agitational threads.
That's it. Short, punchy statements that maybe challenge something in an industry or point out a common mistake.
I can see how those would get reactions.
Totally. She said both formats really encourage comments, arguments even, which, you know, boosts visibility in the algorithm. They practically beg for a response.
Content that sparks conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, Lennox Saint had a very different approach.
Right.
More structured, right? His 5-step rewrite method.
Yeah, almost like a formula. And it was all built around his core idea, the polarizing content thesis.
Polarizing content. What's the thinking there?
He basically argued that indifference is death online. If your content is just lukewarm, sitting on the fence, nobody engages, nobody follows.
Harsh, maybe true.
His point was you need to take a firm stance, even if it's a bit controversial. That's what gets strong reactions, agreement or disagreement, and starts that virality flywheel, as he called it.
Interesting. What do you think of that? Bit risky.
It's definitely a calculated risk. Taking a stand can drive engagement, like he says, but you also risk, you know, turning some people off.
True.
The key, and he does stress this, is being confident in what you believe, not just being obnoxious or making stuff up for clicks. It's a balancing act.
Right. Authentic conviction, not manufactured drama.
Yeah.
So his first step was redraft it. How did he do that?
He suggested starting with a hook template, something like, it took me, 5 years to realize this, and I'll tell you why in 2 minutes.
Okay, grabs attention.
Then take your original idea, your original text, and feed it into an AI, like ChatGPT. Prompt it to rewrite it.
Using AI right off the bat.
Okay.
Step 2, polarize it. More AI.
He gave a really specific prompt for it, telling the AI to act like a polarizing, insightful, and unfiltered strategist.
Wow.
The goal, make the content spicy, prioritize clarity, emotion, punchiness over being neutral, spark curiosity, stir reactions.
So using the AI to find that strong angle.
Exactly. But again, with the caveat, don't be obnoxious, don't invent controversy, amplify a real perspective.
Got it. Step 3 was front load it. What's that about?
Putting the best stuff first. Simple as that. In that fast scroll, you can't bury your killer insight halfway down.
Hook them, then deliver the goods immediately.
Right. Reorder your points, best to worst, right after that initial hook.
Makes sense. Then step 4, personalize it. How do you make the AI stuff sound like you?
This is where you rewrite it again. But this time, you consciously bring in the style of, say, 3 writers you admire.
Okay.
And also 3 adjectives that describe your own writing style. You're layering your voice back on top of the AI structure and polarization.
Bringing the human back in.
Right.
Crucial. And the final step, edit and tweak.
Yeah, the final polish, those little 1% tweaks, he called them. Refining the wording, making it feel natural, and paying close attention to formatting.
Formatting. Like how?
Using white space, breaking up long sentences, making it easy to read on a phone screen, grouping related ideas in those little mini posts within the thread. Details matter.
For sure. Readability is huge. Did he have specific tips for hooks and calls to action?
Yeah, he really liked that it took me X years, hook, paired right with your strongest first point. And for CTAs, frame them as benefits. Give people a reason why they should follow. FOMO, maybe? Or aligning with their values? And definitely avoid those wishy-washy, fence-sitting statements. Leaders, he said, are confident. They state their convictions.
Some really concrete steps there from Lennox. Okay, let's shift gears slightly. Social Pilot and Social Champ, they laid out 10 strategies. The first one's fundamental, be consistent. Why is that so vital on Threads?
Well, they argue the lifespan of a post might be shorter there. Maybe because of that recency thing Strats mentioned in the feed.
So you need to post more often to stay visible.
Seems to be the idea. Higher frequency needed. They suggest using scheduling tools to keep that rhythm going. But it's not just posting anything.
Right. Value is key.
Exactly. Consistent value, not just noise. It's about staying top of mind in what could be a very busy feed.
Okay. Strategy 2. Create highly shareable content. What makes something shareable in their view?
Things that hit emotionally. Curiosity, relatability, humor, empathy, inspiration. You know the drill.
The stuff that makes you feel something.
Or stuff that provides real value. Educational tips, funny memes, relatable stories. And visuals matter too. Good profile pic, good images or videos in the posts themselves.
Got it. Strategy 3. Make use of AI generators. AI keeps popping up.
It really does. They suggest using it for, well, a bunch of things. Brainstorming ideas when you're stuck. Crafting better captions.
Rewriting things, maybe?
Yep. Rewriting, adjusting the tone, translating posts, even suggesting those important tags.
Okay. Number 4 ties into visuals again. Include strong visual elements.
Yeah, reinforces what others said. They suggest a mix of text and visuals. Threads supports multiple images, videos, so use them.
How often?
Their guideline was maybe aim for visuals in like 3 out of 5 posts, break up the text, grab the eye, use stock photos, design tools, make it look good.
Okay. Number 5, use that one tag wisely. That single tag is a constraint.
It really is, compared to other platforms. So their advice is choose it carefully, make it clearly classify your post's topic.
Why? What does that do?
It helps the algorithm understand your content, so it can show it to people who are actually interested in that topic. They even said AI might help pick the best tag.
Number 6, post at the best possible times. Classic advice, but tricky on a new platform with few analytics, right?
Totally. Their workaround suggestion, look at your Instagram insights.
Because the audiences probably overlap.
Exactly. When are your Insta followers active? That's probably a good starting point for Threads peak times too. And since the feed might be recency-based, timing matters even more.
So use scheduling tools, maybe stagger posts if you're cross-posting.
That they recommend, yeah. Manage it strategically.
Number 7 is kind of a no-brainer given the platform link. Cross-post Threads, post to Instagram.
Absolutely. Easy win. Leverage that existing audience. Expand your reach instantly. Maximize your effort.
Makes sense. Number 8, participate and engage. Again, echoes Strats. Why so important?
They really stress that just broadcasting isn't enough. You got to be in there. Explore, react, comment.
What does that signal to Threads?
It signals your interests, so the algorithm learns what you like and can then show your stuff to people with similar interests. engage in your niche, give real feedback, ask questions, even interact with bigger names.
So liking, reposting, commenting, all necessary.
All part of the game, they say. Build that presence.
Number 9, encourage interactions in comments. How do you get people talking on your posts?
Be proactive. Ask open-ended questions. Spark a debate, maybe. Use CTAs, like tag a friend who needs this.
And respond when people do comment.
Definitely. Keep the conversation alive. Encourage more people to jump in. They even hinted that a little bit of well-managed controversy can fuel the fire.
Interesting. And the 10th strategy, repost relevant threads posts. Be a curator.
Exactly. Share good stuff from others in your field. It positions you as a helpful resource, plus you tap into their audience a bit. Win-win for community building.
Okay, so those are 10 solid strategies. Content Studio added a few more tactical ideas too, right?
They did. They mentioned jumping on viral challenges, good for visibility. Leveraging user-generated content, UGC, builds trust. Using interactive things like polls and questions.
You keep people engaged.
Right. And collaborating with other creators on threads, that came up again, expands reach, builds trust.
Collaboration seems huge everywhere now.
It really does. They also talked about leveraging trending topics, news, memes, challenges, but making sure it feels authentic to you and your brand.
Don't just jump on any bandwagon.
Exactly. And they reinforce the need for high-quality visuals and using engaging storytelling. Real, relatable, emotional stories. AI can help structure those too, they suggested.
Did they give examples of viral threads? What kind of stuff?
Yeah, a few. Like a funny meme about a popular show, a relatable post about personal life, some stunning photos, even posts showing raw vulnerability.
So a real mix can work.
Definitely. It shows the range of content that can connect with people there.
And why did Content Studio think focusing on virality was so important anyway?
They framed it as more than just a quick flash in the pan. They see it as key for organic traffic, real engagement, building audience trust, all without paying for ads.
It's how you cut through the noise.
Pretty much. In a crowded space, it gets you noticed.
Okay, now Mr. Money. He came at it from a Twitter background, applying those lessons to threads.
Yeah, his perspective was interesting. First thing, niche down, but choose like 3 related categories or lists.
Why 3? A backup plan.
Sort of, yeah, strategic diversification. He gave examples like content creation, email marketing, digital products, related areas you can talk about.
Gotcha. What next?
Make lists of ideas within those categories, but don't just rely on your own brain. Research. See what others are doing successfully in your niche.
Model success, don't copy.
Exactly. And again, use AI for inspiration, for finding new angles.
AI, the recurring theme. His third point was about frequency. Post 3 to 5 times daily. That sounds like a lot.
It is. But he stressed consistency is just crucial for momentum. And his point was, you don't have to be the ultimate expert. Just share your journey, what you're learning.
Be relatable. Share the process.
Right. He also liked tweet storms, so longer connected threads.
Why that format?
He saw it as a way to tell a more compelling story. Hook people in, keep them reading, maybe guide them to your website or an affiliate link. Build intrigue over several posts.
Makes sense for more complex ideas. What else?
Take time to learn daily. Actively follow people in your field. See what they do. Learn from them. Constant research. Keep learning.
Stay sharp. And finally, the E word, engage.
Yep. Same message again, really. Genuine interaction. Like, comment, follow others, build real connections. He specifically warned against just doing follow for follow.
Needs to be authentic.
That's the key for organic growth, he argued.
Okay, last but not least, Taylor. She shared insights from her own viral experience on Threads. What worked for her?
Asking genuine questions was huge for her. Not clickbait, but questions she actually wanted answers to.
Tapping into the community's knowledge.
Exactly. She found people on Threads seem to like sharing their expertise, giving opinions. It sparks real conversations.
Interesting approach. What else?
She found it helped to directly target her audience, like call out who you want to hear from in the question itself.
Be specific.
Yeah. And then use the feedback you get. Capitalize on that momentum. Use the responses to create new threads. Share your own take. Stand by your reasoning.
Keep the ball rolling. Any other tactics?
Solving someone's problem. Presenting a solution simply, clearly, in a way that works for people scrolling.
Providing direct value.
And using that multi-thread format to continue conversations, go deeper. She even used little visual cues like arrows to make it easy to follow along.
Smart. Guiding the reader. And her final point.
Share the real stuff, the wins and the struggles.
Yeah.
Authenticity connects. Building real community, she felt, was the most valuable thing in the long run.
Wow. Okay, we have covered a ton of ground here, from early observations to specific formulas to personal experiences. If you had to boil it all down, what are the absolute key takeaways from all these sources?
Well, a few themes just kept coming up, didn't they? First, consistency. You got to show up regularly.
Right.
Second, shareable content, stuff
yeah.
that hits emotionally or offers real value. Third, engagement. You can't just post and ghost. You need to interact authentically.
Crucial.
Fourth, understanding the algorithm even as it changes, knowing how things get seen. Fifth, visuals matter. Even on a text platform, they grab attention. And sixth, maybe surprisingly, asking genuine questions seems really powerful for sparking interaction, and sort of woven through all of that is authenticity.
Yeah, being real. Building actual connections, not just chasing numbers.
Exactly. That came through again and again.
So for you, the listener, maybe the question is this. What unique thing, what perspective or skill or story can you consistently bring to Threads? Something that resonates enough to cut through all that noise.
Yeah, how can you be someone worth following in that space? It's still pretty new, relatively speaking.
Definitely. Maybe think about which of these strategies we discussed really sparked an aha moment for you, or what questions you still have as you start playing around on Threads, or maybe level up your game there.
At the end of the day, it feels like it's about finding your voice, contributing something meaningful. It's early days, which means there's a real opportunity there, doesn't it?
Absolutely, an opportunity to make your mark.
So what do you think? It's pretty amazing quality, eh? Test out NotebookLM for yourself and let me know how it goes. That's it for today's show. This is the Stark Raving Social podcast, and I'm Sherrilynne Starkie.
Thanks for tuning in. If you got value from today's show, make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and please leave a rating or review, which helps others find the show. And if you know a fellow comms pro who could use these insights, share the podcast and help them stay ahead in a world that won't stop changing. Until next time, keep learning, keep adapting, and keep making an impact.